Will rise for the pledge, please. I pledge All right, I'm filling in for Kim today. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented. All right, is there a second? Second. All right, Bruce, you got in there quick. Thank you, sir. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, we'll move right into study session, and the first item is School Board Appreciation Month.
So Chair, directors, and community, it's with great honor and humility that I bring this forward. The Minnesota School Board Association has declared September as Public School Boards Month, and it is Public School Boards Have a Heart. And you want to go to the next slide, please, Doris? And that is a true statement. When you think of strong schools, strong community, it's centered of the work that goes on here. Much of the work that goes on behind the scenes, many may not have an understanding, but there's a lot of work. And when we think through the governance level to really support our students, our families, our caregivers, our staff, I just want to say thank you on behalf of each one of them that walk through our doors each and every day, as well as the community in general. So we were going to do a group picture, but with Madam Chair Kim not here this evening, we're going to pause on our group picture and wait for her to be present, then we'll do a group picture. But I just want to say, on behalf of everyone, thank you very much for all your work.
All right, Ron, thank you very much. Go on to item 5.2, Athletic Department overview. Good day.
Oh, there we go. See, that's teamwork. And so I've gotten through 1 year. I'm very excited. My wife and I made the decision to come down to Albert Lea. We had some other choices, but after looking at all the things that we thought were good things down here, we decided on Albert Lea, and so here we are. And so we're so thankful that we're here, and so thankful for you and for all the support. All these people behind me, too, have been amazing support to us, and my admin at our high school and our staff. But I'm going to go through a few slides. Superintendent Wagner said I had 2.5 hours. So I know that board members like to stick around as long as possible. So one of the things I did when I first got here is that I started to build a team. And it was really important for me, and this is my team at this point in our activities. Megan is my administrative assistant. Holly is our event coordinator. And then we just got, from what you guys have done for us, as well as the Superintendent Wagner, is that we've gotten Harrison as our middle school activities director. And he's spending most of his day teaching till about 1 o'clock, and then the rest of the time he's working on middle school programming. And we were really missing that, and we wanted to try to build that, and so we were thankful to get Harrison. Our next slide. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of what I did the first year. My first year was to listen and learn. I wanted to find out what was going on here. I didn't want to come in and just turn the ship completely around. I wanted to find out what was working and what we could do. I evaluated all of our programs, our coaches, and we wanted to make sure that we were doing the right things for kids, and we wanted to make sure that everybody was on the same page. The other thing I did was build relationships with the school, the community, and with all the coaches. Here's the culture change that I tried to make this first year. I wanted to build trust with my team. I wanted them to trust me, and I wanted to trust them. And we collaborated every day. Their voices were really important to me, hearing what they had to say, what was working, what wasn't, and how we were going to do that. But bigger than that, I wanted a commitment from them that they were going to work as hard as they could to make this the greatest activities department in Minnesota. So that's what they've been doing, and we've been doing every day. We've been trying to do that. Even today, Harrison is sick, was homesick all day, and he was sending me text messages, make sure to say this, make sure to do this. I was doing this in middle school. That's commitment, and that's what I'm looking for. All right? Year one initiatives. We've done a lot in this first year. We have a new registration process. What I wanted to do was set up something that was going to be very easy for our customers, our families. We wanted to make sure if they put their last name in and their lunch number or their student number, it filled out everything else for them, so they didn't have to fill it out themselves. It came right out of the Synergy software, which is our student-centered software that we use. And so that's something that was really, really important to me. But we also wanted to have translation options. We wanted to make sure that we could translate this into any language. We have 23 different languages here, I believe. And we wanted to make sure that everybody had an opportunity to register without having to call us or come in. We still have people come in, and we want them to. We want to support them as well as we can. We also wanted to help with physicals and any roadblocks, participation for all of our students. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. We also went with the new ticketing solution, which is called GoFan. This is an online ticketing where we're hopefully someday we'll go cashless, but we know that there's going to be people that come in that can't either do the technology or just have the cash, don't have a credit card, those kind of things, but we do take credit cards on site now. But this is a way for them to buy tickets up beforehand and at other schools. All of the Big Nine has gone to GoFan except for Winona. So we will have this ability to buy tickets to events through the Big Nine. The other thing that we did, which is really important to me, was the live streaming. One of the things that we struggled with last year was getting good quality live streaming out. So I developed a relationship so we could do Albert Lee Live. And Albert Lee Live is going to carry all of our activities. It's not going to be just sporting, but it's going to be choir. It's going to be any type of activity. I actually also bought a remote camera. So if I have internet access, I can go anywhere and I can remote live stream anything that we do. And it's high quality. We also have broadcasting that's part of that. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about how our kids are going to be involved in that broadcasting and our live streaming. We also started a spirit store. One of the things that's really important to me is teamwork, being part of a team. And you guys are all part of my team. So for a little bit of fun, what I did is, because you're my teammates, there's some important things that you get. First of all, you all get one of these passes, which is a VIP pass to every event, you and a guest, to all of our events at Albert Lee. You don't need one, Ron, because you get anyway. The other thing is what's part of a team. I spend a lot of time buying uniforms. And I don't think that we can be a part of a team until I buy you guys a uniform. So I decided to buy you guys uniforms. So that's why I brought my wife with me, Lori, who is now in the EL. She's really, really important when we talk about taking roadblocks away, especially for our EL students. That was something I was very passionate about, wanting to make sure that they had every opportunity to be in activities. So she and I have been working on something called the Spirit Store. It's called the Tiger's Lair. And it was a store that used to be here, but we're reopening it. So Lori, if you could come up. And she's going to tell you a little bit about what we're doing and what my vision was for the Spirit Store, so you can see how we're going to integrate our kids into that.
Well, first of all, thank you for letting me kind of stick my nose in. But like Superintendent Wagner said, this happens to be the appreciation month for school board, and so this ties in perfectly with what we do. Dave and I agree not to talk shop when we are home. At least we try very hard not to talk shop when we are home. But I was struggling to come up with other ways to get my EL students to speak comfortably in public. One of the biggest roadblocks we see in them testing out of EL through Access is that speaking portion of the Access test. It's intimidating to know that you're saying it wrong, to have the chance of you saying something, to not be sure that your tenses are correct. And so we really do a lot of practicing. We do bingo cards with our entire staff where they go and they talk to our administrators and our secretaries and our janitors so that they feel comfortable with them and Officer Khan. But you put them in a situation and they get nervous. So I had said, Dave, give me an idea on how I can get my kids to talk. And he's like, well, do you want to run the Spirit Store? And I was like, Yes, I do. So the Spirit Store is designed for a few things. First, we have 3 groups that are joining us, so it just isn't an EL adventure. Instead, we also will have SPED joining us. They are going to be doing some of the learning how to do the cleaning and the recycling and all of that the way they do in other parts of the building, but also any maintenance types of things that we need. We also are looking at, they will be doing the coffee cart out of the Spirit Store before school every morning, and that allows us to do cappuccinos, and they had this fabulous newfangled machine that they had gotten through another department or through another I don't know, it's long before mine because it was in the annex, so when I found it, I was like, let's go talk to these people. And in addition, we're also connecting with our business classes, the entrepreneurial teams, so that they can do marketing and they can learn to do things using our WeVideo and our Tiger Vision and our Alahasa and all of those pieces that get our kids fired up about seeing something. In addition to that, we're gonna be doing a lot of our fundraisers based at the school store, so that there's always this hub, as our students wander around before school in the morning. That's a lot of the spot that they're going to find where there's something going on, and that it will always be supported by an educator. So whether it's me or someone from SPUD, there will always be somebody in that, so that we aren't, so that our kids are getting direction and positive reinforcement. My EL students will be required to do a certain number of hours in the school store learning how to talk and gaining all of those skills. So when they also need to job hunt and look for some after school or summertime employment, they can say, yes, I've worked with customers, or I've used a POS system, or all of those things. So I'm super excited about it. I'm excited about us also then having merchandise for our community. It's great if you can take a picture and you see something on a QR code and you get comfortable, but not everybody is. They need to be able to look at it and see it and try it on, and we'll be able to do that with the school store. So we'll be working with the activities department. But everybody deserves some teamwork. So if you do yours, Maeve, I will. So, I just don't have, here you are.
Dave, you know what's especially nice about this?
What's that?
Up at our school board convention every year, we've never come up dressed alike, so here we go.
Oh, nice.
We need it. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, or,
Thank you.
wow. You got them all, or do you want me to have them? Okay. So this is one of the items that we will be having at the school store. We felt like it was one then that you can show your school pride and be excited at when you're coming to our events with your new VIP passes.
Yep.
And we are excited. Anytime that the store is open, it'll be before school, lunch, 8th hour, and till 3:30 after school. And then we'll try and support some of those larger events like the musical, and make sure that there are flowers for parents to purchase and those kinds of things, so that we can think a little bit outside of the box for some of those. So thank you so much. We're excited. I'm excited, so.
The greatest thing is she doesn't cost us anything. She does it for free. Yeah. Unfortunately, she didn't have a choice, but no, we're excited. We wanted you guys to feel like a team and be part of a team, and having uniforms, I think, is that part. And so, also with the Appreciation Month, that's awesome that it works out. All right, so the middle school AD, I'll go a little faster here so we can get, I know that you guys you have a lot to cover. So middle school AD, we're starting new programming. We're getting more kids involved. We're also going down to the 6th grade level. We're doing some inventory control. Some things that were concerning to me is that we don't know what all of our technology and all of our equipment is. So I'm having every coach go through inventory, making sure that we get that equipment in and we're making it safe, and that we're taking care of the stuff that you've allowed us to buy. New partnerships. I've been working really hard with the YMCA, the Community Ed, and Parks and Rec. We've been working really hard to get fields and other kids and youth, and have our kids go in and help coach some of that or ref some of that. For the YMCA, we have kids who will go down for basketball and help with the basketball teams down to the Y with the little kids. And so that shows them some leadership, it gives them some coaching experience, but it also helps the YMCA because it's hard to find people to help them. Next. This is small, I'm sorry. We have 54 current activities that I manage. And of course, you can have this, we'll send this PowerPoint out to you, but These are all the ones that we currently have, from on the left being our activities that are extracurricular, and on the right are all of our sports. And I just wanted you to quick see that that's what we're currently managing. Again, you probably have seen this before, so. Next one. So the other thing I wanted to do is that I did a deep dive into our participation numbers, and I went back 5 years, but I only did a couple years here because there was so much data. And also, I was unable to find some of the data that I wanted to get to, which was, this is number of registrations that we have, but it doesn't take into consideration those multi-sport athletes. So if I have like a Nevaeh Wackles who is in 3 activities, she's actually counted 3 times. Do I want to count her once, or do I want to count her in each sport? So that's the conundrum of finding out what our percentage of participation is. You can see here in the 2022-23, those are the numbers, 312, 221 for each season, starting with fall, then winter, and then spring. Those are the total number of registrations, and then the red number is the percentage based on the number of kids we have in the high school. So at that point, we look at 23-24, those numbers, and then the next set of numbers, the next slide, does 23-24, and then this year. And our goal is obviously to try to build as much as we can for participation. We'd like to get to that 50% range is where I'd like to be. And so right here, you will see there's the 24-25 fall. We've gone from 326 to 343 this year. So we've gained a little bit and lost in a few, but we have a few of our activities that we really need to work on. One of the things for like a boys swimming, what we ended up doing this summer is that Anna Anderson and Angel Welsh got together, and we opened up, along with Tiger Sharks, a swim program. And we got to use our pool, and we got a lot of kids to come there, and we're trying to build that from whatever age all the way up and try to get kids to go out for swimming. So we're trying to do those different types of things to make things happen for participation numbers. This next one is middle school numbers, again, 23-24. You can see that we have football, volleyball, we have the 3, and this is where we want to get a little bit broader. We want to start to add volleyball or cross country into the 6th grade, into probably 25, 26 year. We also want to be able to bring in soccer, because we have a lot of kids that want to play soccer in the middle school area. And so we're trying to broaden that those types of things, but we're going to have to get coaches, we're going to have to get equipment, and there's costs to all those things. And those are cost analysis that I have to do and make sure that they make sense to spend the money on for the number of kids we have. So the extracurricular activities, this is what our numbers were last year. And I haven't got all the numbers for this year, of course, because some of them haven't started. But you can see out of 1,200 kids, we had 682 that participated in an activity that was outside of sports. So about 56% of our kids were participating in something. And so this year, we hope that it's going to be even more. Okay. Now, the live streaming and website, some of the things that we've done, and Albert Lee Live is our new live streaming website. If you go to that albertleelive.com, you'll be able to see any activity that's going to be live streamed. We have a new activities website that's going to be a one-stop shop for all of our customers, our families, and our students and our staff to be able to go and register, buy tickets, see any rosters, look at any of the game highlights. Those kind of things will be on that. There's always still the Our Schools Big 9 calendar that people are probably used to going to. That will always still be there, but we want to try to push everybody to the new Albert Lee Activities website so they can see action things and can go. And also it pushes out to all of our media. So if a coach goes in there and puts what happened the night before, it pushes out to all of our media so that gets updated for the next morning. I've been trying to get stuff out to all of our staff as much as I can, but the time is not always there. Then the activity schedule, I'm not sure if you guys know on your phones that you're able to get the activity scheduler on your phones, whether it's go to the App Store and download that. That's from Our Schools. It says RST with a little hat. That gives you all of our schedules as well. And you can use that on your phone to see what's going on with activities. And then I talked a little bit about GoFan ticketing, which is all of our online ticketing, as well as we use it in concessions, so people can start buying concessions with credit cards. And it keeps track of all that inventory for us instead of us having to hand count everything, which we do on a monthly basis. It also keeps track of that inventory so we can see what we've lost or the pricing if we need to change any of that. My year 2 goals and initiatives, we're starting a student leadership class and training. It's going to be a requirement that we have 9th grade through 12th grade, and Harrison and I are going to be running that. We want to start getting leadership and building leadership within our kids. Concessions and Spirit Store we talked about. The concession, we're also collaborating with our special ed department, and we're having some of those kids that are putting all of our inventory in and keeping track of that so they can get some life skills. And so that's been really great. Really, something that's really important to me is the diversity and inclusion initiative that I have. This is just really just knocking down the walls for any of our kids. Doesn't matter who it is, so they can have opportunities to be in activities, whether that's price, whether that's equipment, whether that's transportation, which I'll talk about in just a second with transportation, just to put a bug in your ear. The student live streaming participation, we actually are going to have kids being in production, broadcasting, and they're going to be actually taking photography, and they're going to do marketing for this. So they're going to have a whole class that's going to work around our live streaming. So we're going to have kids, kind of like the AL ESPN desk. They're going to have those where the kids can actually do some of the live streaming themselves. I've already had probably 15 kids come in and say that they're interested. Some in wrestling, that love wrestling, they want to come and do that. Some in basketball, but we want to get them involved. We don't want just to have a live streaming, but we want a place so that kids can learn. We're starting a new strength and conditioning program. I'm hiring someone that's coming in to run programming, and we're going to have strength and conditioning. This is my changing culture of not just only being in an activity, but being competitive and getting better. And what's it going to take for us to get better? And strength and conditioning is one of the key things that we have to do with our kids. Last year, we had 100 kids sign up for strength and conditioning for the summer, and only 25 showed up. It has to be cool. It's got to be the thing to do, and we really want to do that. So getting someone in there that knows what they're doing is really important. And then finally, this is something that Superintendent Wagner and I have talked a lot about, is the alumni engagement and mentorship. We want to find out where our alumni are and get them engaged, and we want to make sure that we're taking care of them when they're here and showing them that we appreciate them and that we want them back and we want their help. At my last school, at St. Cloud Tech, we had 10,000 members, and at any point I could call up and say, we need help, and we got help. And so that's what I want to build here, is I want to build a network of these alumni that can help us and do things for us. This one is something I just wanted to put a bug in your ears, is transportation after activities. One of the biggest stop gaps for our kids for not going out for activities is getting a ride home after school. If they don't take the bus right after school and they go to an activity, mom and dad might work at night, they don't have a ride, so 5:30, these are some ideas that I've had. What we did in my last school, we spent $9,000 a semester, and that was a bus that left at 5:30 and dropped off in 3 different locations within St. Cloud, and those kids then would walk home from there. But in Albert Lea, it might be a little bit easier because it's not as big, but these are some ideas that I had, whether the school provides a shuttle service, public transportation partnerships. We used to buy tokens for the kids and give them to them so they could get on those, ride-sharing programs, carpooling, after-school program extensions, so we'd have somebody there to watch them until their parents could come and get them, maybe help them with their homework and stuff. Community-based solutions, talking to the community and see if there's any other ideas. And then, of course, the school district paying straight for it is another option. But this is just more just to think about. Next. And then I have a handout for you guys. I'm done with the presentation, but this is for the next time if you want me back. These are the initiative, what we're doing, how we're going to do it, and you just look it over and then make sure that you ask me questions and send me some. We also started a new advisory board that's going to be working with us to make sure that we're doing all we can for kids and activities. And I've got some really good people working on that board for me too. Other than that, I think we're all in this together.
Any questions or comments for Dave?
That activity schedule, you said there's a separate app for that?
Yep. So it's a ball cap with RST on it. It's our schools. So if you go onto either mobile, whether it's iPhone or Android, you'll find it in the store.
Can we get that in a board update on Friday, a link to that?
Sure.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, it'll just be on your phones. I don't know if I can grab a link to it, but I can show you a picture of it
Okay.
so you see the little hat.
Any other questions, comments for Dave?
I just want to make a brief, so I want to thank you and your wife specifically, but thank you for all that you do. There's definitely a correlation to our students being involved and engaged, in particular in the activities after and before school and attendance. So the more that we can offer students opportunities, open those doors, and engage our students, that increases their visibility in our schools. So thank you for that, and continue to think outside the box. Greatly appreciate it.
Dave, a couple of things came to mind for me. The GoFan ticket system, our seniors in the past have had free admission. Can they go in and access a free ticket through GoFan, or?
So the ticket that I gave you, the VIP, I made special ones for senior citizens that they walk in, we give them a ticket, they don't even have to do anything. They get that, put it in their pocket, and they can come to events, and so they'll have one. And our veterans as well.
The other thing that came to my mind too, when it comes to recording participation, I know the Department of Ed and National Junior College Athletic Association allow for duplicate counting. So to me, they've set a standard that you can, for students in multiple sports. I don't know, you couldn't do the same there. The last thing I want to say, I just appreciate your presence in the community, your professionalism, and the positive attitude. It's just been really good to see, and
You're welcome.
definitely appreciate your efforts.
It's my pleasure.
Here,
Yep.
also, thanks for putting together the activities one-time meeting
Yeah,
that we had last week, and as you mentioned, doing it 3 times. So, thought it was well-attended, and
Yep.
it was an hour long, just
Yeah.
like our graduation ceremony.
yeah. I don't think anybody can sit more than an hour, so it's an hour. But I did that, just thank you for that, is that we went over what I want that to be a positive thing. I don't want it to, it always was a negative thing about, if you do something wrong, you're in trouble. I want this to be, this is the greatest time of your life, let's get in activities. And with that, we're gonna talk about football a little bit. Maybe you could share with what's gonna happen on Friday, what some of the different things that we're trying to accomplish to get people to come to games. I've been working with Dave a little bit about getting one of the Vikings here. So you know more about that than I do, so.
Well, last year it was my pleasure to bring a face painter for
Yep.
homecoming for the young kids. And I was trying to find some different activities, and I come across, and I'm kind of a big autograph guy, and just got to know some different people. And so Tommy Kramer is going to be here on Friday night, sponsored by me to sign autographs, take pictures, say hi, do anything, within reason that you want, as they would say.
Yep.
And then down the road, I'm hoping to see some more of the players that I've gotten to know. I hate to call him manager, but the guy that kind of helps shuffle these guys around the state and area. So looking forward to that. Just set up a little spot. We're going to go at 4:30. We're going to go down to the field house and let him just walk in and say hi to the kids. And 5 o'clock, come back up and set up there in the up by the stadium. Get a beautiful place to show off, and they're excited to come down. So.
And also with Superintendent Wagner, we have the field house. We're going to be set up for people to go up there, alumni and our elderly and people just, we're going to coffee and cookies and make sure that they have a great time and they have a comfortable place to sit. So have an atmosphere for those people too.
All right, thanks, Dave.
All right.
Appreciate that a great
you, guys.
deal. Yeah, thanks too, Mr. Clapp, for the Viking connection. Okay, our next item is 5.3. That would be an update on student services. Hey,
Good evening, Vice Chair, School Board Director, Superintendent Wagner. First of all, to see Student Services update. I know I did have a couple people mention, why isn't it Special Services? Last year, I pondered it for quite a while with Cabinet and Superintendent Wagner, just looking at the title of Executive Director of Special Services versus Executive Director of Student Services. Often the word special can carry a stigma. We do will never escape, it will always be special education. I mean, we have criteria, it falls under law with special education. But when we hear the word special used with our students with special needs, or we hear special transportation, I listened to one young lady with disabilities who made the comment, I don't have special needs, I have human needs, and all of our students have needs, and all of our students are extremely special. But the same for our transportation. Even going so far to identify it as a SPED bus, a SPED teacher. So looking more to student services, in student services, we do have special education, but we have mental health services, we have health and nursing, we have academic interventions, counseling. So many things fall under student services. So the why behind the name, change in the name. Before I get to some of our amazing spaces in the district, I do want to talk about the addition of a due process lead in every building this year. Last year in October, at the end of the first quarter, we made the adjustment with staff to place due process leads at our 4 elementary buildings to support our teams not only with due process, but compliance to federal and state law, but supporting our building teams and students. This year, we now have 7 due process leads in the district, from early learning, focusing on early childhood special education, our 4 elementary buildings, and then all of our secondary from grade 6 through adult. Includes transitions and our ALC. The primary role, due process, but due process is more, it's compliance, and that's more than paperwork. When you hear due process, you think paperwork, because a lot of that's what it is. But it is also ensuring that our students have the appropriate setting, that they have the appropriate supports, including the accommodations and modifications within their setting, that the IEP plan is being implemented. Students are not underserved, they're not overserved. We're not under-identifying, we're not over-identifying. I have had already in our short 8 days, 2 parents reach out in conversation because their student was working with some outside agencies. Grateful when I call Southwest, I know who I can go to. And if I don't get my question answered right away, I know I will within a day. So a lot of support, not only in the building, but with our parents and caregivers as well. So looking at some of our spaces, a lot of our buildings made some moves this year, especially all of Brookside, Lakeview, and Sibley also had some significant room changes. This is one of our early learning classrooms that downstairs on first floor, we had three classrooms for early learning. And it was a large space for our littlest people. Ceilings were quite tall, the room was very broken up, a lot of exits within the building or within the classroom. This year now, our early learning, all of our students are on the second floor. We can see in the 2 pictures, there's a lot of little walls to separate the areas, designated workstations, areas for if it is academic, whether it is a calming corner, whether it is an activity or a little sensory space, clearly identified. And if anyone ever viewed some of our early learning spaces, very free of visual clutter. So they did an excellent job of really going through and determining what our students need. At elementary, one of our spaces, this is at Hawthorne, the new furniture is just beautiful. But some things in these 2 pictures are the soft lighting, the use of the lamp, light covers over the fluorescent lights. Students can work together at a table. There's a table if they want to work separately, flexible seating, another space set off to the side by the window, allowing that natural light, the rug, soft seating, and then again, organization of the materials and what that space is designated for. Another elementary space, this is Halverson, our setting 3 classrooms at Halverson. Again, different seating to meet the students' needs on the left, and then that feeling of belonging by the visuals on the bulletin board displayed in the classroom with students' names, birthdays. Next one. This is an elementary classroom at Hawthorne. The use of visuals. Individual workstations have the visuals for each student, and off to the left, the bigger picture is the classroom, all of the visuals for the classroom schedule. Our Setting 3 classrooms will have a visual schedule posted, and then an agenda or an individualized schedule based on where their work is being done. If that's individual, if it's with the adult, they then breaks down that schedule into that time frame that they are working with the adult. And then another classroom at Hawthorne, identifying that calm corner, the corners of the classroom to use for a regulation space, a reading space. Again, we have the flexible, soft, comfortable seating, a little tent tucked away in the corner to read, pillows. And moving up to secondary at Southwest. Again, our teams, our teachers and support staff did an amazing job at reducing the visual, the visual clutter, or so much visual that is really sensory overload for our students and I think some of our adults as well. Looking at different seating options, standing desks. This is at the high school. Again, I think the majority of our teachers use the light covers over the fluorescent lights. And just different options for seating and space to move. The picture on the left has a teacher area in the middle of the classroom, which we focused on. When a teacher sits in the middle, they can see what is happening around them. And then those teachers who do have support staff within their classroom, where are they going to be placed so they can see the entrance of the classroom and can see all corners and ensuring that students' needs are met and that the students know who that manager of the space is. Spent this afternoon at Sibley redesigning a space and what you can easily do by flipping a teacher's desk into the middle and allowing the students accessing the four corners and allowing them different stations within the classroom. Yeah. Any questions on our spaces or?
Any questions or comments for Sheila? Seeing none, we appreciate the good work. I like that teacher in the middle of the room.
Teacher in the middle, Tanya
Makes a
and
lot
I
of sense.
Our eyes were opened with some of that.
Okay.
And how, when a student enters the room, they see, what's the first thing they see? That they belong in the space. They know who the manager of the space is. And I think about some of our Setting 3 classrooms, our most restrictive settings, where the support staff is. So then, again, that teacher in the middle, the student knows, you're the manager. It's your space, and then what's expected. It's predictable, and they know what to expect.
I just want to give a shout out to all the work that was done behind the scenes for our custodians to transform Brookside into more of an accommodating atmosphere for our students. It was just truly amazing. And then the work at our sites as well. And you can see our rooms are just pristine. But also as we think about the supports for each and every student, as we look at the individual needs of every student, we think of our students, our general education students first, and then what are we providing the supports and the services for our students, and giving that sense of belonging and that visibility from pre-K to our early learners to our students here at Brookside now through our ALC. So it's important that we see each student for the gifts that they bring. And like, as you said, each student is special, so thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments from the board? I just do have an update for you. Our next meeting is September 30th, so last Monday of the month. So you don't show up and nobody's here, which you don't want that experience. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Second? Second. Thanks, Davey. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, thanks, everybody.